Hello, everybody. Sorry, here we go again. My name is Kath Armstrong, and I'm the creator of the Cheapskates Club, where our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up, and laughing. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Now, I'm going to be looking down because we've had the devil of a time with cameras this afternoon. I'm on camera number 4 at the moment, trying to get one that will work. I don't know what's gone wrong. I don't fiddle with technology because my way of thinking, if it's not broken, I'm not going to fiddle and I'm not going to try and fix anything that's not there. But anyway, am I straight? Am I centered? Sort of, maybe. Doesn't matter. Let's see who's here. There's lots of comments showing and 20 people already watching. Welcome. If this is your first time visiting our channel, really pleased to have you, and we'd love to have you join the live chat, which is over to my right, which is probably your left. I don't know, I get confused. But to do that, you need to be logged into your YouTube account or your Gmail account. Don't panic if you haven't got one. It's perfectly okay. Now, Barb was first off this morning at this afternoon tonight, 6:43 p.m. I'm still recovering from that flu. Let me tell you, do not get sick. Do not get, and it was just a flu, nothing to worry about. But oh my, did it knock us flat because it went through the whole house one at a time. Oh, one would just start to be getting better and the next one would go down, and it was just awful. So stay healthy, everybody. Do your best to avoid people that are coughing and spluttering and sneezing. And if you don't feel well, stay home. Don't spread your germs. Nobody wants that kind of love. All right, so Barb was first up. Yes, Barb, we're slowly getting better. I'm sorry you've had a rough pain day. I know what they are like. Hello, Estelle. Hello, Kelly. Yvonne, collecting furniture. That would be nice to have your granddaughter so close. A minute. That is lovely. Lots of deals on Marketplace. Heaps of things this time of year. Hello, Beverly. Okay. Okay. I'm just going through this. Hello, Kylie. Great weather for ducks and free garden watering. It was free garden watering here overnight too. Massive thunderstorm in the middle of the night. And it lasted for ages. Started to hear the thunder rumble around midnight. And it was still going at 1:30. We had a good dump of rain though, so no watering, which made me happy. Estelle's having power ditches. That's not good. Hello, Jenny, Mrs. Dilligaff, Bob Star, Greg Evans. Hello, Charlene. Hi, Emma. It is very warm tonight and quite humid here. It's really weird because Melbourne's not normally a humid city. Not as bad as Sydney or Brisbane, Darwin, Cairns. I can think of worse places. Oh, thank you, Estelle. Chat's on your right too. I figured it would be because you'd be looking at the screen like I would be. Hello, Evelyn. Hello, Catherine from New Zealand. And Catherine Kelly. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Maureen. Hello, Yvonne. And hello, Selena. Okay, 7:35. Do you think everyone's just about here. We've got 57 people watching. Now remember, if you like our channel and if you like tonight's show, thumbs up would be really, really appreciated. It helps our channel grow. It just helps our channel be found more easily. The more likes we get and the more shares, if you know someone who might be interested in tonight's topic, there's a little share button. Don't be afraid to use it. All it does is send them a link. That helps our channel grow too and makes it easier to find. And the easier it is for people to find us, the easier it is for us, me and you guys, to let everyone know that, you know what, it might be 2024 and the world might be going to hell in a handbasket, and there could be shortages and strikes and weather events and whatever happening all over the place, but we can still live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing. There's no reason why we can't if we want to. And we can show the world how to do that, because I think this year it's going to be more important than ever. And I know I say that all the time, but every year just seems to get tighter and tighter and tighter. So, hi Julie. Hello Patricia. 80% humidity. Ugh, that's just awful. So, cash. I mentioned last week, I didn't do the show last week. I was laid out flat, and I didn't even care that I didn't do the show last week. I apologize for that lackadaisical type attitude, but honestly, sitting up, and it just was not on my radar last week. But I was lying in bed listening to the radio, and there was, they were talking about all different bits in the news and different things that were happening, and cash. And of course, my ears perked up at that. And I was absolutely dumbfounded that there's a guy from RMIT, I believe. Let me check that. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Australia will be basically a cashless society by the end of 2025. So we have less than 2 years before we will be a cashless society. And where is it? This is sort of backed up by what the RBA had to say. They are sort of not a fan of the RBA. It's a very few people who hold an enormous amount of power over our finances. I'm not a fan of that. I like to be in control. But anyway, according to the RBA, Australia will be, let me get this terminology, what they said, functionally cashless by 2025. Not by the end of 2025, but by 2025, which means we've got 11 and a half months of cash as we know it. Does that sound about right? And they are predicting physical money will be completely gone by the end of the decade. So by the end of 2030. So that's 7 years, 6 and a bit years, 6 years and 11 and a half months. And physical cash will be gone, which sort of, because, you know, you're lying in bed and you've got a bit of a temperature anyway, and and I don't know about you, but my mind goes off, you know, down rabbit holes all the time. And so then I was thinking, well, if we don't have physical cash, we're all dealing with, you know, we're a cashless society, every transaction is going to be digital, what then is our legal tender? Well, I was thinking about it. I thought, I need to find out more about that, because I would want to know what will be our legal tender, because, of course, it will still officially be the Australian dollar, but we will no longer have that legal tender to hold in our hot little hands. How is that going to work? I want to know. So, see, my mind goes off all over the place. Those two things have had me worrying about this, and I have been worrying about it, and I know that's foolish because I can't do anything about it. I on my own can do nothing about it. I can scream and yell and write letters and throw tantrums and insist on paying for everything in cash for as long as I possibly can. But just me on my own will not get a response other than she's, a few Fruit Loops short of a bowl of cereal, and ignore her. But as a collective, if there was more than me feeling the same way and asking the same questions and demanding answers, then perhaps something would happen. Because, it's the baby that throws the biggest tantrum that gets the most attention. And it's the baby that throws the biggest tantrum that gets its own way. Have you ever noticed, especially in politics, if it's, it might be totally off the wall, such a minority you've never heard of it before, but if it is throwing a tantrum and getting attention, it will get its own way, and it will get what it wants, whatever that may be. I want cash to stay. I don't want cash to go. I'm happy to throw a tantrum, scream and yell, jump up and down, march with placards, demand that banks at least remain open. I now have to go into the city to get a branch of my bank. I don't go into the city. I'd be lucky to go into the city once every 2 years. I loathe the city. But if I want to do in-bank banking, I have to go into the city. The worst part is, along with that move, the ATMs are slowly disappearing too. So I will be forced to use another bank's ATM or an independent ATM, or get my cash out as a transaction at the supermarket, which means I'm limited because they often have a limit of $200. If I want to get all my cash out for the month, I need a little bit more than $200. So it's going to be interesting to see how I'm going to deal with it, which I've started putting into place already. Protocols for me to use cash more and more and more. Okay, now let me catch up. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, all right. Selena saw people using cash today. Yes, Estelle, basically cashless means we still have a chance to keep using cash, but the trick will be to actually get it. ATMs are disappearing. Banks are disappearing. Now, we know bank branches are closing. ATMs are being withdrawn too. Both my local strip shopping centres, three, no longer have an ATM at all at them. Two of them had two, and two bank branches, they've gone. One of them had a bank ATM, it's gone. I was at our big shopping centre with Hannah over the weekend. The ATMs are disappearing. And out of the one bank that she wanted to use has 4, only one was in operation. Now, when we were there last week, same deal, has 4 ATMs, but only one was operational. They're pulling ATMs out too, slowly but surely. Our ability to get cash is being limited and being hindered. And someone did ask the question, I don't know whether it was on here or somewhere else, what's the tooth fairy going to do? You can't leave $1 or a $2 coin, whatever, however much it is for the tooth fairy these days. What is the tooth fairy going to do? So, Tegan, it's already in place. They don't need to establish anything. How many of us do online banking? I do online banking. How many of us have Centrelink accounts that go directly into your bank? There you go. ATO goes directly into your bank. Your wages go directly into your bank. It's already in place. Most of your bills are paid by direct debit from your bank account. Have you tried to pay a gas bill or an electricity bill in cash somewhere? Some will let you do it at the post office. Some companies will let you do it at the post office, but not many. It's almost impossible to pay a gas bill, an electricity bill, a water bill, a phone bill in cash anywhere. Our Telstra hubs, we've got 2 locally. No, you can't pay your bills there. You can buy a phone there. You can sign up for a new plan there. You can go into debt there, but you can't pay your bill there. So it's already in place. They don't have to do anything. They just have to say, slowly, withdraw the bank branches, withdraw the ATMs, limit what you can get as a withdrawal from your cash advance from the supermarkets, put a fee, which we've already talked about because she's already talking about it. Our RBA governor's already talking about putting a fee on using cash, making it hard to get. If it's hard to get, we can't get it, we can't use it. It's already in place. They don't have to do anything. Nobody has to do anything. It is already in place. It has happened. We've let it happen. It has happened. Okay. No, Patricia, cashless isn't somebody's dream. Cashless is a fact. Yes, Selena, that means there will be no more printed, there will be no more money printed, no more coins made. It will disappear. It will be gone. And by the end of the decade, no one will be set up to be able to take cash. So you might have $50,000 in cash stashed under your mattress, but you won't be able to use it. You won't be able to shop with it because the shops won't be able to take it. We already know you can't pay bills with it. Put petrol in your car. It will be trading between friends, I guess, that will keep that cash going. Hello, Eve. Happy New Year. Hi, Lisa. It's already set up, Patricia. Cash is much easier for your budget. I agree. Absolutely. I love our budget purses. I go to the bank once a month. I get out my money. I split it up. That's it. I know exactly where it's going, exactly how much is being spent. Much harder to do that. Much harder to do that when you pay by plastic. It's just a pain in the patootie. I'm not sure what the official plan is for natural disasters, floods, bushfires, cyclones, hailstorms, whatever. Someone hacks the World Wide Web and the internet goes down. Well, we're all in trouble anyway. I'm not sure what the official plan would be, and I'm pretty sure there isn't one, as in one that would actually work. But it will be simply everything grinds to a halt. That would be when something like they would bring in, I was going to say they'd bring in defence, but each state has to request help from defence. The federal government can't just blanket, as I understand it, federal government can't just send in the troops. Each state would need to request it unless there's a change in legislation, which could happen. But I might be wrong on that. So don't quote me. Do your own research. But it would be simply something like martial law would be invoked. And this is where, okay, tinfoil hat time, folks. Bring out your tinfoil hat if you're with me. This is where it would be a case of martial law would be invoked. And you get a knock on the door and they'd say, we've been told that you bought 24 rolls of toilet paper and 3 boxes of Wheat Bix a week ago and you've only got 3 people in your family, so we've come to take the excess because you don't need it. That will happen. Your pantry will be raided to give to someone else who hasn't been as prepared. I'll take my tinfoil hat off now, but it's what I believe. If there's no internet, there's no electricity, everything grinds to a halt. Everything will grind to a halt, Amanda. Tegan's mortgage will be paid off completely by the end of 2025. Congratulations. Yep. And they're worried about what happens to balances and interest on mortgages when everything gets switched over. Good question. Actually, Tegan, I don't think they do want. I don't think our government wants people to be more self-sufficient. I think they want us to be. No. Yeah, they do want us to be more self-sufficient, so they don't have to put in place. So they don't have to be responsible, which doesn't mean that they're not going to come knocking on our door and say, you know, you've got 24 rolls of toilet paper and 3 boxes of Wheat Bix and you've only a family of 2, so you don't need them, and take it. You've got 6 tomato plants in the garden and they're producing 1 kilo a week, so we're going to take those tomatoes. Our government only wants us to be self-sufficient to a degree. Because if we are really self-sufficient, if we are really self-sufficient and really self-reliant, we don't need government. We don't need a federal government. And we could probably do without a state government, or we could revamp our state government. And so they're not necessary. So they need us to be reliant on them to a degree, which sort of has been happening for the last 45 years, maybe a bit longer, perhaps 50 years, with things like, I can't remember, I think it might have been the Whitlam government that brought in the, it used to be, I've forgotten what it was called. Parents were paid, 2 shillings a fortnight or something for their children to put aside for shoes or whatever. And I'm pretty sure it was the Whitlam government that changed that back in the 70s, but I was only a kid, so I can't really be sure. Whichever government it was that brought in the family tax benefit. We've got family tax benefit A, family tax benefit B, the child endowment, that's what it was called, child endowment. Well, they changed that child endowment, called it a family benefit or a family tax benefit, split it, made it a lot more money, and made people dependent on that as part of their income. Because I know I've worked with people, I've talked to people for years who count on that payment each fortnight as part of their income. Otherwise, they cannot pay their bills. So even though they are working full time, they rely on that family tax benefit, whatever it is called these days. I don't have little kids, so I've sort of lost track of that. But they rely on that as part of their income. Take that off them, and they're in big trouble. And now we're finding interest rates, mortgage interest rates are going up. Inflation is still hitting us hard. Shortages are still happening. Things, the cost of going back to school's gone up, childcare's going up, all sorts of things. So people rely on that, and they rely on the government to supply that. The government has made families reliant on them. Take that away and those families are in trouble. Give it back to them, and they're like, the government's like, saviour. You've given us this money. Thank you. You saved us. So the government is making people reliant on them. So while they do want us to be a little bit self-sufficient, only to a degree. They don't want us to be totally self-sufficient or self-reliant. Selena has to travel an hour to do in-branch banking. Oh, Christine, haven't you seen them? They've got their little portable, what are they called? Their little stripe things, little card readers, little tiny portable card reader. You don't need cash to make a donation. Goodness. The donut man in the donut van at Bunnings, even the sausage sizzle at Bunnings, they've got a card reader. You can pay for your $2.50 sausage with onions on the top and sauce with card. You don't need cash anymore. It's supposed to be convenient. It's supposed to be safer. We don't have cash, so there's less chance of being held up. I don't know. I have an opinion about that, but it's obviously not a popular one. But you don't know. You don't need cash to do that anymore. You do not need cash to do that anymore. Yvonne uses credit union. Wow. Combanks shuts at 1 p.m. Do you remember when banks used to open at 10, shut at 3? And they were real banks. Greg Evans gets cash from Woolies. Yeah, Beverly. See, how can you have a bank that doesn't deal in cash? But quite a few of them don't. You can go in and get into debt. Quite happily, they'll get you into debt, but they won't let you withdraw your savings from them. And they won't let you, that means the coin counter's gone. I know. First world problem, the coin counter's gone. Oh, my goodness. But, what do you do? So, yeah, it's not a conspiracy theory, Kylie. You and I know it's been coming for a long, long time. A long, long, long time. This has been probably, I'll say 40 years. I'm trying to think back. Just on maybe 38 years in the making. I'm trying to think. I used to get paid in cash. And then when I was promoted, I was paid by check each fortnight, and I could go to the bank and cash my check. And then, so I'm thinking how old I was when that happened. And then all of a sudden it was straight into my bank account. No more cash, no more checks. It was straight into my bank account. So that was about 40 years ago, and that was the start of it. That would have been the start of it, getting rid of cash. Of course, bank fees will go up, Tegan. You don't think they're going to miss an opportunity to rob us blind. Yeah. I keep meaning, I know I joke about this, but I keep meaning to, I've got an old hat and I keep meaning to cover it in tinfoil and put it on just for these weird things that I come out with, because my family just go, Mum's got a tinfoil hat on again. But Catherine's tinfoil hat's now an umbrella. But when I said these things 5 years ago, I was held down. Like Kylie said, she tried in 2020 and was held down, told it was conspiracy theory. I've been told that I'm fear-mongering, that it's clickbait, that I'm wrong. Guys, I'm not wrong. What I'm saying is out there. Do your own research. If I can find it, you guys can too, because I'm no genius when it comes to looking up stuff. I just keep digging and digging, and I don't take one. I like to find 3 or 4 different sources, so that I can get different views of it. So do your own research. Yeah, I agree, Tegan. We need to be reliant on them, dependent, because then they control us. What was that? What we were talking about in 2020, control the food, you control the people. So control the money, you control the food, you control the people. There's a whole, I need to look that up for you. That control the food, control the people. There's actually quite a big, that's just a part of that quote. It's quite a big quote. Well, you see, that's partly true. But what about all the people who, and we all know people like this, who are happy to turn over the responsibility to someone else? They don't want to be responsible for themselves, for their actions, for their taking care of themselves. They want to be able to let someone else do it for them. They're happy to hand it over. Because isn't that what it's there for? Isn't that what government's there for, to take care of us? No, government's not there to take care of us. That is not what government is for. Government is not there to take care of us. That is a joke. So it's there will be those, and we saw it in 2020, 2021, 22. We saw it with the vaccinations and the lockdowns and the border passes and not being able to travel and all sorts of things. We saw the people that were fearful, who gave in because they were afraid. We saw the ones that went, someone else is taking responsibility for this, so I'll just do what they say because then it's all on them. And then there were the few who said, you guys are nuts. You're all whack jobs and you should be, hello, I can think for myself. I know how to wash my hands, and I know when I'm sick I'll stay home, and I'm, don't tell me I can only go 5 kilometres from home or only leave home for half an hour once a day. That's just daft. But they were in the minority. It's how countries can be overrun. It's how a few people can take over many. Pretty much. People let them. They welcome them in. Hitler didn't start the war with bombs. He started it very gently. He came in and he made big promises. they weren't good promises if people bothered to dig deeper, but they didn't because they sounded good and the people were desperate. So, you know, wow, Delaney, really? Goodness gracious me. Huh. Wonder how that goes. Because I know we're not allowed to fly our drones around here. Wayne has drones that he uses for filming when we're away, for recording his videos. We're not allowed to use them in national parks. We're not allowed to use them in suburbia. We're not allowed to use them within. There's a whole list of rules and regulations about them, including a good privacy one. I'd be screaming. I'd throw lemons at it. Would not like that at all. Thank you, Selena. Yeah, it was child endowment. 50 cents a fortnight. So it wasn't much. It was nothing. And then it went up to this huge amount of money, which might have been $30 or something, which, 50 odd years ago was nearly a week's wages for some people. So, yeah. Thank you, Kylie. I thought states had to request help from ADF. It wasn't that our federal government couldn't go, well, you go there, you go there, you go. Yeah, I thought the states had to request the help. We've got, our new Premier, she's still being tried, isn't she? Because the old one was a bit of a dipstick. Square, thank you. Did I say Stripe? I think I did. I meant Square. Still, yes, they do want us to be poor, because if we're poor, we're weak. Or they think we are weak. I guess they don't really know. Card reader, yeah, thank you, Bob Star. That's a nice memory, Barb. That's a nice memory, though, isn't it? Mum saved the money up. That's really lovely. Yeah, an FPOS. Wow, even CWA. See? It's a very insidious thing, this getting rid of cash. Because it's so convenient. So convenient. You don't need to worry about counting the money. You don't have to have change. You can just, just get a card reader. Let people pay by card and it goes straight into your bank account. You don't know. It's so much easier. And in a way it is. But it's a sneaky way of making you cashless and making not using cash the norm. Oh, I'm sorry you got held up. Yeah, I had a friend who worked at a bank in Bayswater, and she was held up with a gun to her face on a very busy Friday afternoon. And that was in the days when the bank shut at 3 and they walked in at 10 to 3 and the bank was full and lots of people. And yeah. $3.50. It's been a while since I bought a Bunnings sausage, obviously. exactly. Wow. ATM style machine as a cash counter. There you go. You want to see? I'll do my hat for next week. How's that? I've got an old hat. I had it. Oh, it's actually Hannah's old hat. And I was looking at it. I've lost track of time between going backwards and forwards to Sydney and holidays and whatever. I was looking at it a couple of weeks ago. I thought I must give her that to take home. And I thought, no, I'm going to cover it because it's going to be my tinfoil hat. Selena, in my family, my immediate family, I'm just mum, and sometimes mum has good ideas and sometimes mum's ideas are a bit meh. But kids are still good, and Wayne just is happy to go along. But my extended family, I had an auntie tell me that I was the weird member of the family. And on sort of the other side, I'm still a bit odd because I do things like grow a sizable garden, not just 2 tomato plants and a zucchini or something. And because I do a lot of preserving, and I do a lot of preserving. I needed to when the kids were little, and I had $200 a month, and you had to feed the 5 of us and buy the baby's medicines, and I snuck in 1 packet of disposable nappies. That was my treat. 1 packet of disposable nappies a month from the chemist. Cozies, they were $6.95 a packet. I had to do those sorts of things so that the money would stretch. I had to learn to cook. I had to become a better sewer, knit, crochet, mend things, do things for myself. I had to learn to hunt around for bargains. So my mother was very frugal. I have an auntie well, 2 aunties, one's passed away, very, very frugal. But really, really, I have learned so much from those 3 women in my lifetime about raising a family on almost nothing, taking half a cup of rice and an onion and a quarter of a carrot and turning it into a gourmet feast, which never works for me, but it used to for Mum. So from them I learned a lot, and especially the nieces and nephews now, they're sort of, a little younger than my kids, and so they sort of think Auntie Kath's a bit odd. She's a little bit odd, a little bit out there. Alternative was one term, so I thought I'm the least alternative person you could ever find. But yeah, in my family, I'm the weird one. I'm weird. I make soap. That's odd. We can just buy it. It's cheaper to buy it. Well, not necessarily. Not to buy nice soap. It's not. And and like canned meat. Oh my goodness. It's unheard of. So yeah, I do. And I have family members who, for the life of me, they will never budget. They will see a cent and spend it. And a couple of them are like, well, it's my money. If I want to spend it, I'll spend it. And when it runs out, it runs out. And then there's a couple that are like, see a cent, spend it. Oh, no, now I can't feed the kids. What am I going to do? And I'm not very sympathetic to that anymore. I used to go, oh, here's some milk and some cereal, and I don't do that anymore. Because you need to learn, don't you? If you see a cent and spend it, you don't have it. And if your kids are going to be hungry, you spend it on food, not on whatever, getting your nails done or whatever. So I'm a very, I'm the weird one in the family. Yeah, Beverly, it was Henry Kissinger, but that was only part of the quote. There's it's quite a long thing. I will look it up. No, I can't put images in chat. Well done, Maureen. wait till I tell the boys. They're going to be really scared next time they see you. First of all, it was going mad about the chicken not being the right weight. Now you've told the fruit shop lady off. Well done. No, look, it's legal tender. And I know that there's a whole lot of false information out there, but it's legal tender. If that's all you've got, they have to accept it. There's something going around that, oh well, somebody said it only has to be this, and RBA says it's this. If that's all you've got, they have to accept it. Oh, no. We do not want a UBI. No. Worst thing in the world. Absolutely the worst thing in the world. Oh, goodness me. Do you know, we have some Canadian viewers. We have some Canadian Cheapskates Club members and lots of Canadian newsletter members. And I have family in Canada. But I have to say, Canada's a dangerous country. It's a really dangerous country. There is a lot going on there that is really sneaky and quiet and insidious and doesn't get a lot of airtime, doesn't get talked about a lot. It actually infringes on just basic human rights. Canada is a very dangerous country, one to keep an eye on, because, yeah, if that comes in Canada, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I have to say, though, I was rather pleased, although I'm temporarily pleased with the decision to actually bring some of our defence back to Australia. Instead of buying it from overseas, we're actually going to start making some of it, some of the hardware here, which is, we should be doing that anyway, people. Hello. Okay. China's social credit, yep. Yeah, that's a good point, Catherine. A lot of people, again, yeah, they don't want to rock the boat. They just want to, we're happy as we are, but by not rocking the boat, by not asking questions, by not demanding answers, by not being a little independent, by not putting responsibility back on government to actually do the job it's supposed to do, and that is not support us. It is not meant to support us. Then, as their lifestyle declines, the standard of living will decline, and what are they going to do then? They've given up. Given up. Hi, Hev, how are you? Huh, the zoo wouldn't take cash. Interesting. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Kylie, follow the money. How many times have I said it? Follow the money. Just follow the money, guys. Follow the money. Edible landscaping is, in terms of planting fruit trees and stuff like that, you can actually be fined for doing it. You have to be really careful with what you plant. WEF, that's is it this meeting that they're going to announce their big plan? I've lost track. I've lost track. But again, okay, so we've got the World Economic Forum. Bunch of people from where? They're not elected. They don't hold any government positions. They're pretty much dictators, invaders and dictators. And they're going to come back and say, well, now, Australia, you have to do this, this, and this. And I sort of go, well, why? Just because you people say Australia has to do this, this, and this. Why? What power do you have over Australia? You are not an elected official. You have no power over Australia other than what our government has given them and what every government in the world has given them. They've not been elected. They're not elected officials. They're not, or certainly not elected by the people. So why do they hold so much power? And again, as someone said, I think it was Delaney said, charisma comes into it. Again, some of them are very charismatic. That's not a good thing. That is not a good thing, guys. It's not a good thing. You know, again, especially with these guys, follow the money and see who's going to benefit from it. It's not going to be us. Can't sell your eggs with a square in. People are being fined for small backyard pools. Yep, outbuildings. Yeah. Collecting data on vegetable gardens, etc. too. The other thing they'll be watching, this is something that was brought to my attention, is trees, lopping trees, because might be your property and your tree, but you have no control over it. Annabelle says, look at Germany, power of the people when they are pushed way too far. Yep. Estelle, if someone wants to get into your property, they will get into it. You can have the best deadlocks in the world on your windows and doors. You can have security glass. You can have all sorts of things. If someone wants to get in, they can get in. They can get in through the roof. If they really want to get in, they'll get in through the roof. They can lift the tiles or they can lift a sheet of tin and get in through the roof. If someone wants to get into your property, they will get into it. We do our best to put deterrents up so that they decide it's too hard and go away. But if someone really wants to get into your property, they will do it. Yeah, little pools without a pool fence, because I think if it's more than, it's a really shallow amount, it's like 15 centimetres or something deep, then it's supposed to have a permit and a fence and whatever. Everything's focused on the US election, and that's going to happen now till it happens, I think. Not so much, there's not very much on what's going on in Palestine, Israel anymore, the Red Sea, Yemen, Iran. Oh, I get those two mixed up. And very little coming about Ukraine. There was a bit out of the UK about them bombing something, but it was, it was a clean bombing apparently, not a dodgy one. It's there. You just have to look for it. I'm sort of more interested in what's going on here at the moment. We're not getting, and I know it's summer holidays in Australia, but we're not getting a lot of, I was going to say political news, but that's not even political news. We're just not getting a lot of local news. We're getting a lot of local gossip and a lot of local, Liam Neeson's in Walhalla and, he's got a cut in his head. Well, he's got a cut in his head, and hope he enjoys Walhalla because it's a beautiful little town. But seriously, he doesn't need to run for 3 nights. Once was enough. So I want to know more what's happening here, because when our news goes quiet, I get a bit nervous. Oh, that sounds nice. Vegemite Girl, a cash memory. I know I have, when Australia went from pounds and pence to dollars and cents, my mum put away up to, I think, $2 note, dollar note, 50 cent, a 20 cent, a 10 and a 5 cent each for my brother and I. I've got mine. I don't know what he's done with his. Put away. And she had up to £1 in old money. It's packed away in my wardrobe. I didn't see that Prime of Midlife. I saw one the other day. She cracked me up. But I haven't seen them for a few days. I'm way behind, guys. No Lacey Dog tonight. Yes, Hannah got the flu too, Yvonne. She got it after me, so she was the one after me. She went home. It was a toss up whether I go up there. I didn't want her driving down here. She was really sick. I didn't want her driving down here when she was really sick. It was only 3.5 days that we were really sick, but we were really sick. It was like I just felt like I'd been run over by a bus. Everything ached. My nose was running and my eyes were sore and my head was pounding and everything ached. I had the fever. It was just awful. But we were all the same. I lost my voice. One of the boys lost their voice too. It was really quite interesting. Okay, I'm way behind on comments. Sorry, guys. $29 for a bar of soap in Mitre 10. Ouch. Did you tell them yes? You moo your voodoo, Kylie. You should have told them. That would have really upset them. Okay. So anyway, back to cash. I'm going to have to, because there's miles of comments and I'm missing them all. Oh my gosh. Okay, I want to talk about cash. I've decided that this is going to be our year of cash. I'm going to move it over to Cheapskates. This will be our year of cash. It will be our year of dealing in cash. It will be our year of finding ways to make cash. It will be our year of finding ways to spend cash, to trade with cash. This has to be our year of cash. I don't know that, me on my own using cash will make much difference, but it'll make a difference to me. Feel free to join me. Next week I want to do our purses, our budget purses, and a price book. Run over the price book again. Prices are just crazy at the moment. On Sunday I was out and I was in Costco just browsing with Hannah. She was shopping, I was browsing, and they had brisket for $13 a kilo. Great price. $13 a kilo is a good price. And then we looked and it had been mislabeled. So it had the wrong expire, like it was packed today and expired tomorrow sort of thing. So instead of repackaging it or relabeling it, they'd marked it down. So it actually came down to $11.83 a kilo. Excellent price. So a big piece of brisket came home with us and it got chopped up and canned straight away. I put some in the pressure cooker and we had it for tea on Sunday night. Then on the way home we stopped at Coles and their premium mince was $15 a kilo and I still had 3 days to go and it was marked down. And it was marked down to $7.77, $7.78 a kilo. And there was heaps of it. It was in 2 kilo packs. I picked up 5 and there was a lady standing there looking at it. She went, oh, I wouldn't have that. And I just looked at her, okay, took another 2. Seriously, folks? She then picked up the full price one and walked away. Take it home, put it in the freezer. Some people can't be helped. And I was glad she didn't want it because then I got more. That's been, some went into meatballs, and the rest of it's been pressure canned. I think, those I was meant to be there both those times to get those deals because we haven't had deals on meat here for ages, not good deals for ages. So I did that. So I want to get the price book up and running. Mine's up and running, but I want to go over it again with you because it's handy. And if we're going to move to cash, we need to know how much stuff costs so that we know how much cash we need to get. And then we get the cash and that's it. We don't go back to the bank until the next payday, whether you get paid weekly, fortnightly or monthly. And we leave it like that. So that's what I want to do. Couple from church. Yeah. Yeah, the flu is nasty. It's not COVID. It wasn't COVID. It was just the summer flu. But, oh my gosh, it was just horrible. Nearly 2 weeks by the time it went through all of us. But we were all down for 3.5 days of pure misery. And then I woke up and I feel fine. And I got up and canned some chicken. So you bounce back pretty quickly. So, okay. I think we should all move to cash. Again, cash budget. Do what you can, as much as you can in cash. How are kids going to learn to count? If they can't use cash, can't use money. They're never going to learn to budget if they can't use money, can't sit going. So we need to move to cash. And the tooth fairy will go out of business. So, being lighthearted and mocking about it, but I don't mean to be, I'll leave it there. Do your own research. Type in Australia cashless 2025 or Australia cashless 2030 into your search engine, and you will be overwhelmed with the amount of information that is out there. Dig through it, have a good read of it, get a good understanding of what has happened and what is going to happen, and think about how it's going to affect you, because it will affect all of us. Absolutely will affect all of us, and it will not be a good thing. I don't care how easy they say it is, it will not be a good thing. Turning control of your finances over to an institution that can say, hang on a minute, you've already spent money at the supermarket this week, so no more for you. Or to an institution that will turn your personal, well, they already do it anyway, turn your personal data over to the government, so the government can say, look what, no, they're living, they earn this much and spend this much, but look at how they live. They get a shock with Cheapskates, won't they? Because we might not earn a lot, but we certainly live a better than average lifestyle. And so let me just click on that, Estelle. So, lost my train of thought. I don't like the idea of going cashless. I like to control my money. I like to control my life, the way I live it. Okay, Estelle says, maybe this is for another show, but how do you anticipate one-off odd expenses, such as like replacing your car key? Okay, a car key would come out of your car maintenance category in your budget. So do you have a budget category where you put money for tyres, a new battery, services, that sort of thing in there? Because your car key would come out of that. But if it was something like you needed braces for your teeth, then that would go into what we call a peace of mind account. So you start saving up for it so that you've got the cash to pay for it, but it's a temporary thing. So it's not an ongoing savings. Once you've reached the amount you need, then you stop saving with that. Does that make sense? Yes, Tegan, they could. Yes, quite likely. Quite likely. Oops, sorry. My fingers are. Trust no one. Trust no one. That's a hard thing to say. Trust no one. Our government already has access to your bank accounts if they want it, if they want them. If they decide that they need your money, can they walk in and take it? Yes. Will they walk in and take it? Probably not at the moment. Depends. It depends very much on how we as the citizens of the country react to the little things. So many little things slip by. Like, for instance, and I'll go back to, we were talking about it a few weeks ago, this, gas in Victoria, no new gas installations. That just snuck in. That just slipped in. And nobody's gone, everyone's gone, oh, well, that's a bit inconvenient. Now I've got to go to electricity. Nobody's gone, back the truck up, bucko. I prefer gas, so no, I want gas. They're all going, oh, no more gas. I have to go and buy electric. Oh, will I do this? Will I do this? Oh, what about an induction stove? Is that better than... Nobody's actually gone, yes, hang on, stop. And nobody's actually gone, well, if there's no more new gas installations, we don't need to do the fracking anymore. We don't need to do the gas drilling anymore. So that can stop, won't it? Because no, it's not stopping. It's just being sold overseas. So little things, the little things that sneak under. And it's all those little things that nobody pays any attention to, that build up and build up and build up until they're overwhelming, and it's all our freedoms are gone. You know, every time someone says the government should fix it, the government should do something about it, I'm like, there goes a freedom. Because every time the government fixes something for you or for me, they take a tiny little bit of our freedom. We lose a little bit of our freedom. We hand it over because we want the government to fix it. Instead of going, I'm an adult and I don't like what you're doing, so I'm going to change what I'm doing and you can get lost. The government has to fix it. You know, unemployment, the government has to fix it. Well, how about people going, I'd really like a job, doesn't matter what it is, can I please do any, I will sweep footpaths. I just want a job. So, yeah, they can come in. Will they? I don't know, but we're not really quite there yet, are we? Yeah, that's pretty interesting, Estelle, because there's now research coming out of the UK, I think, that says that humans, our breathing is doing more for global warming than anything else. Well, doesn't that sort of line up with the, you know, we need to cull the world's population? If people by simply breathing are doing more damage than anything else on this earth, they need to cull the people, don't they? Okay. All right. I am going to leave it. I know I usually do a bit of an after show, but honestly, I'm a bit pooped tonight. Sorry, guys. A bit exhausted, but I do want to be back next week with our budget purses and the price book and talking about a cash budget. I'll show you my cash budget if that will help anyone. I don't know why it would, but you know, it might give you an idea of how I do things, might inspire you. And you can go, well, that won't work for me, but if I do this and this and this, that will work and that would be better. Have a great week, everyone. We're due for more storms in the morning. The sky's pretty pink. Red sky at night, Shepherd's Delight. So maybe, although we're supposed to have a very wet day tomorrow, which will be nice. And then maybe we'll get some time out in the garden because I was going to take photos and I didn't do it. It's a jungle out there. It is a jungle out there. And then our weather's sort of cooling off a bit, which will be nice. So I'll be back next Tuesday. We'll be talking about budget purses and price books and my cash budget and how it works. If you haven't already, I've got to do all this. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's just down there. And if you know anyone who might like the video, hit the share and it will send them a link. If you haven't given me a thumbs up, there's 81 people watching. 81 thumbs up will be, that'd be a nice surprise. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments underneath me. I'm doing this and you can't even see me underneath me, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. The links to Cheapskates Club are down there too. Thanks again for watching and bearing with me tonight as I've waffled on, and I'll show you my tinfoil hat next week. All right, thank you everybody. It's good to be back, and I will see you next week. Bye.